Okay, so let's get started. The other guy started as well, so might as well. The next one is a panel. Hold on. So I need to tell some things about you guys. It's not in here. Well, you'll have to introduce yourselves. So we have a panel now. The panel is wearable a pressupe for mobile? Okay. Where is the revolution heading with the R in brackets? So I'm going to let the panelists introduce themselves and spend a couple of minutes talking about their business and their products. And then we're going to take some questions from the audience and take it from there. So here you go.
Yes, hello. My name is Andrei Olaru. I work at Deutsche Bank as a software engineer. We are going to talk about wearable technology. When I asked about this presentation, I was told some suggestions and restrictions. In one phrase, try to use and talk about future predictions. Okay.
Sorry, just 1 second. If you want to come a bit further towards the front, you're probably going to hear better, because there is some interference with next door. So come forward to the seat in front. Go for it, sorry.
Okay, regarding this, for us to make a future prediction, we need, for us to define how the future will evolve, we need to understand the past. So I'll start off by talking about a few gadgets, wearable gadgets, cool wearable gadgets. And after that, we'll talk about what technology and wearable devices we'd need to have. Okay.
Okay, so let's keep it short, and then we're gonna go around. Okay, so shall I show the leap afterwards?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah? Okay,
yeah, that's
cool.
Hello, my name is Badoi. I'm with Accenture as a senior developer. And concerning wearables, I do believe that they are the future. Although right now, the society is not ready for such a revolution or for such devices, especially in the corporate and the business areas. Although that would benefit the most in this area.
Okay, so let's define something. What is wearable? What do we understand by wearable?
By wearable, we mean computers that you wear on your person, and that can help you in some way do business or do, I don't know, ease your life.
Okay, so a phone is a wearable, right? But it's more attached to you, so like a watch.
It's attached, and it's you can drop it on a table and forget about it. But
okay.
By wearable we mean smartwatches or smart rings. I don't know, Google Glass, and those kind of exactly.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Virtopeanu. I'm founder of Bliss Mobile. We are doing mobile marketing, mobile apps. I'm in mobile for many years, running a lot of projects. And as a short intro for wearables, I do believe it's very hard to predict the future. Based on what we've seen in the past 10, 12 years, we saw people don't need anymore a watch because they use a phone or a smartphone. Therefore, I am very skeptical about smartwatches because you need the smartwatch and the phone to connect it, as it's right now. But there are some other interesting perspectives about wearables. I don't know if you're familiar with the new deal between Google and Levi's with computerized pens and some other stuff.
Okay, so how many in the audience have a smartwatch? Okay, Android, right? Okay. Cool. So it's an audience that needs to be educated. One thing personally that I found useful, I had this thing for about a month. It's magic. It's nothing more powerful than going to Starbucks and just do this and pay. Actually, from July, Apple just announced that we'll be able to use Apple Pay in London Underground. So if you imagine you have a gate in the Underground, just go like this, and just go in. I feel like Superman. So I think it's a good thing. So let's go and do you want to show the leap and see how it works? Show how it works, or do you want to introduce it? How do you want to go about it? Yeah.
Hello.
Can we switch to this one?
What I was going to show you is a leap motion controller. The idea is having a smartwatch, you don't have too much control over it. You can't give it too much of an input. A smart band, a fitness band, takes your heartbeat. A smartwatch gets your notifications from Facebook, let's say. You see who's calling you, but you can't really control it. And in a world where we're surrounded by smart environments, I think we should have more control. And a device like this may help us because we have...
So if you don't know what this is, it's this tiny thing that's connected by USB. It's called a leap motion controller. How much do they retail for?
I think it's $100.
Okay, so it's about $100, which if you use a Mac is about the price of a keyboard. And that's how you use it.
Yeah, and regarding wearables, okay, so it has 3 infrared LEDs into it. It has 2 cameras, and it can map like any gesture you make, and map that gesture to any action you want in your PC or smartphone and so on. Now it's connected to a laptop. They just signed Asus and HP to embed it in laptops. They're looking into tablets, and why not have a watch that has this control, so you can connect up to it with a proximity detector and connect up to a security feed and activate the connection and move the camera around and so on. Yeah, let's leave.
Unfortunately, the screen is not good, but if you look what happens here when you put the hand, you can actually see the hand, right? So I'm not sure how much you see from there, but it's really good. So this is a bit of Minority Report, right? So you have that controller that sits on the computer, but you can also have it in your hand, and you can react to the environment. So it's easy to extend that to have something like a watch or a ring, like we said before, and just do gestures.
That hardware is 2 years old, I think.
Right.
And that hardware is 2 years old, I think. So for sure, it can get small enough to get it into a watch or something like that.
Yeah, I like this thing. It's awesome. So you just go left and right, or the other way. Come on. And then you pick whatever you want to use. For some reason, he uses the wrong finger.
I think it's your right hand.
It's old technology, but imagine what's happening now in the world. Okay.
Okay. The thing about wearables that we must address is from the developer's perspective and from the hardware manufacturer's perspective. That is, the hardware manufacturers must work hard to make the hardware compliant and to make the hardware more portable. Because the problem with smart things that we have is that battery life is not that impressive. So a phone that lasts a day, a smartphone that lasts a day, it's like a holy grail in this.
But phones last a day, and I was thinking the other day because I had this discussion with someone about the watches, and I was making the argument that remember the old days when you had brick phones like Motorola, and you used to charge them once a week. Right? And then we went to smartphones that we need to charge once a day, and we didn't mind. So why do we mind charging the watches once a day?
Because we may have some situation when we're not close to a power adapter, or we don't have a charging brick around us. So we may have to take into account that the devices must last at least 2 days, I don't know. And especially wearables, because for smartwatches, you have to take them off your hand. So it puts additional wear on the brace itself. So
although a lot of people actually take off their watches, the normal watches at night. But yeah, I don't. But I need to now. Right. Okay. So Dan, tell us, why don't you believe wearables are going to make it?
No, I say I don't believe smartwatches gonna make it, which is a
Smartwatches.
very big difference. I believe wearables gonna make it if we speak about wearables that are health related. Here is the
Right.
future, and I can use a ring to take different information from my body or a bracelet. If we look at the sales figures, there are 3 times more bracelets, smart bracelets sold than smartwatches already. And bringing back to smartwatches and Google Glasses also, as I said, it's a matter of adoption. As long as we speak about millions of sales per year, even Apple, they had the first forecast 30 millions, now it's down to 10 millions. It's still very low for Apple, because Apple has a huge fans. Yes, that's the forecast for this year. It's 10 millions. Think about, we are selling 1.5 billion smartphones per year. And we have up to 20 million new smartwatches per year. So it's a very huge difference between adoption. Now we have 2 people, okay, they are early adopters, you are also early adopters. You can pay at Starbucks with your phone if you want to, not necessarily with your smartwatch. And it's a solution that is already from some years there.
Sure.
So here I'm skeptical exactly in that point. It's just a matter of market. Will the market adopt smartwatches or not? That's the question. About health, wearables, definitely people will need to take care of their health, and as long as they can have some solutions, this should work.
Okay, so do you think it's just a case of putting more feature into the smartwatch? Do you think it doesn't have enough to offer? And that's the reason. Because I'll tell you one thing. I've been wearing one of those Nike bands for about 3 years now. And then I wore a Pebble for a while that's supposed to track your activity as well. And I had one of those Wittings things that was supposed to take your pulse on your finger, but never worked. This is a completely different. It's the scale of magnitude is completely different. So the accuracy of this, it's amazing, especially with the heart rate. It uses both infrared and that green light to go in. I mean, I'm not advocating, I'm just stating the facts, what I've seen from my personal experience. I know I'm an Apple nuthead, but let that aside. I'm trying to be as objective as possible. I think it's a different device entirely, and I think it just has enough features and has enough reasons why people will adopt it. I mean, the price point obviously is quite steep at the moment, but eventually they will become norm and they'll get through.
Okay.
So it's not a case of features, that's what I'm asking.
No, I don't think it's the features. I think if we speak about mass market, and my answer will be from marketing size, not from programming size. If we speak about mass market, people are looking for utility. Main utility for watches were to show time and the timer. That was the fact. That's why people were buying watches, main. Secondary were premium watches or super premium watches, where you want the experience, you have a special object, and so on. I won't speak the second target, because anyway it's a niche. But for the first target, as I say, we had a shift in people behavior. In 10 years, people gave up to use watches, because they don't need watches. They take the smartphones everywhere with them.
That's the reason I didn't wear a watch, yeah.
The smartphone, it's near to you. You are used to check the time. You are used to get the timer. You have bigger screen. You can get directions. The same you can get on a smartwatch, but you can get it there and faster. And as I say, you don't need, if the smartwatch will be independent without the smartphones, that's different issue. But as long as I anyway have to carry my smartphone with me.
Yeah, that's actually it's changing. I've just installed the next version, which was announced this week, and it's somehow.
As I say, it's hard to predict the future.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's semi-dependent, but yeah.
I believe smartphones in 10 years will not be like we have now.
Absolutely.
I mean, some augmented reality solutions combined with smartwatch or other objects of just decorative reason can replace the smartphone.
Or jewelry or something.
And as I say, if I can use my pants to answer calls, to...
Okay. So Pants means a different thing in UK, right? From States. In States it means trousers. In UK it means your underwear. So I'm not sure who wants to answer calls from a pants. Okay. So, where do we go from here? Where do you think the world is going?
Regarding what you said, I think we have needs, but most of the time we don't know about them. As we talked 10 minutes ago, many companies tell us what we need because customers sometimes don't know. Steve Jobs used to say that his clients don't know what they want.
Well, lots of people in the world, they didn't know they need Facebook, and now
exactly, and so many people are using Facebook now. And we have medical reasons. We should use wearable technology like Google's.
Google Glass, yeah.
Not Google Glass. The thing you put on your eyelid that if you have diabetes, it tells you your glycemic indicator.
It's a good tool.
So that's a need. That's a real need.
Yeah, but talking about glasses, sorry to interrupt. I saw some really nice solutions for surgeons and for car mechanics for Google Glass. So they get the information right on their Google Glass without touching anything, exactly when they need it, and I think that's powerful as well. But that's specialized. So.
And you said you'd feel like Superman when you're paying with by waving your wrist. There's a Toronto-based company that adds another layer of security to that. It gets your heart rate. It maps it, a NIMI. It's called the NIMI band. It maps your heart rate on an EKG curve. And that seems to be unique to you, like your fingerprint or retina is. And that's the security you need, a persistent identity check. And they have a partnership with MasterCard, and you pay something like that. That's another need. It's easier, makes life easier.
As long as you're not running when you're supposed to pay.
Yeah. They say they addressed that, but
yeah. Okay, cool. So what does Accenture do on the mobile front? Where do you guys see the business going on the mobile front?
Accenture does not have a precise opinion in this area. I'm just expressing my own opinions.
Sure.
But I do think that wearables in the future must be, for the wearables to have an impact, they must be combined with, fashion items, fashion statements. Because to produce a wearable just for its sheer purpose, it's not as relevant as putting the wearable's contents in some jewelry or some designer watch or some designer clothing, because that's what sells. You see the smartwatch.
I think Misfit does a really good thing where they sell that little coin and then you can put it into all sorts of different things.
So this I see with smartwatches. They didn't have such impact until Apple released their iWatch, because it's an
Apple Watch.
Apple Watch, okay. Because it's also a fashion statement item. So
it is, especially the gold ones.
We see many large classical watch manufacturers team up with technology companies to produce a hybrid of smartwatch and classical watch. So it's that helps penetrate the market, create a need for something smart, and then go from there. Because this is what happens to smartphones.
Yeah.
At first, they weren't as used or as well known until Apple released their iPhone.
It's interesting how different providers approach building smartwatches, because if you think about a year ago, I went to a Tizen conference in San Francisco, and they had, and I'm not sure if you remember, it's only 1 year ago, but they had those Tizen watches that had a camera on the top here.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they thought. I mean, if they were trying to package a mobile phone into a watch and have camera on the wrist, I mean, it's just...
Samsung did that.
No, I mean, they tried. They failed because they didn't sell any. They probably gave most of them away. But that's to show that we can't predict what's going to happen. You can't just take an existing product and package it in a different form factor and then push it on.
And of course, you have to take into account privacy issues. because what happens to Google Glass? Because of the camera, front-facing camera, there were concerns about people being filmed or pictured without their consent. So this raised a big issue.
I mean, the same thing happens on the laptops, and a lot of schools implement all sorts of weird stuff.
We are used to laptops having cameras. We are used to smartphones having cameras. We developed a culture of or an etiquette regarding taking pictures. So when someone takes a picture with a phone, we see that person takes the picture. But with something like Google Glass or Samsung's first generation watch, you couldn't tell. So that's an issue, a big issue.
So what do you think, Dan, about Google Glass? What's your opinion on Google Glass?
One moment. May I say
sure,
something about what he said? Yeah, a couple of years ago, it wasn't natural for a human being to talk on the phone in the street or talk on the phone without with a headset. So we'll evolve regarding this.
It was called being crazy if you talk by yourself on the street. So what do you think about Google Glass? Why do you think it failed?
Why it failed? Well, first is the price point. Because
it was expensive,
yes, it's expensive. Secondary, it's a matter of education. Third, if we look at how many money spent Apple on promoting Apple Watch and how money Google spent on promoting Google Glasses, we'll see a big difference.
Product, It wasn't they do it as
I mean, it was not something that you were inspired to buy. Apple's success is behind his fan base. When they launched the Apple Watch, they had heavy advertising campaigns on UK, on Germany, US, so it was a marketing machine. Google is not a marketing machine. Google is very good in selling advertising, but not necessarily in selling products. If we look at all their standalone products, mobile phones speaking, almost all were failures, despite the fact they had best operating system among Android and so on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with you there, but I think Google doesn't do software for the software's sake. It doesn't. They make money from selling the user data.
It's not their business model to sell items. That's exactly the issue. Apple is selling objects of desire. Everything Apple it's making, it's an object of desire. Sometimes Apple, it's really going on a very good niche because I'm quite skeptical about smartwatch. People will change opinion. Apple with iPod, they were attacking Walkmans and other items. But as I say, smartwatch, it's competing against smartphone. That's the truth right now, worldwide. We don't speak early adopters and so on. Maybe we'll have 100 million people who will use smartwatch. It's not bad. But it's like NFC. How many people are really using NFC application on their mobile phone at worldwide level? We don't have more than 100 million. You have figures? 100 million? No, there are not.
I think there are quite a few these days because you have you have services that actually use NFC because NFC as a technology is very good, but it's very geeky as well. So you need to have really easy things like Google Pay or Apple Pay to actually make use of it. And
you have basic service like check-in for years for NFC. Even before the smartphones, there were companies who were providing. So you have services. The issue is you don't have enough.
But the thing
people
is,
who
they don't
have
any
a device with NFC. Same with augmented reality. Despite we have lots of smartphones who support augmented reality, at global level, the biggest platforms are counting less than 100 million installed base apps.
Right. So you see the smartwatch as a competitor to the smartphone?
That's my opinion, yes. And as I said, Apple has success because it's playing with his base and is putting money in marketing. Samsung experiencing, let's try this, but their focus is to sell, first of all, smartphone, not smartwatches.
Right.
So that's why smartwatches are selling, but we need to have a large base. 10 years ago, 1 billion smartphone will be something that you will not believe that will be sold.
10 years ago, no,
10
it
years
wasn't
ago.
1 billion. No, I think it was...
No, you will not believe you can sell in a year
absolutely.
1 billion.
Well, in 2007, when Apple started, they wanted just 1% of the market, and I think that was a couple of tens of millions.
Yeah.
Now it's exploded. So what do you see wearables in 5 years? What do you think? Let's make some Nostradamus predictions.
Well, as I say, I see in some, here I agree with the fashion device. They need to to combine fashion with functionality. As I said, the health, not necessarily the blood rate. Maybe you can have a device who can check with a small needle like you have for
Diabetes.
diabetes. Yeah. Because you need just a very, very small pinch to get
I think
the information.
there's some technologies, non-invasive technologies that can be used.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. You have ring like that. You can use the ring also to enter the subway and so on. And security also, I believe it's a good field where wearables can evolve. And maybe people will love smartwatches.
Do you think it'll go beyond the skin? I mean, implants and stuff?
In 5 years, no, but in some years, yes. No, there are already some experimental stuff done in Japan when you can use your eye movement to reply your phone and forward and do something. So,
Cool. Okay. So, good. Next. What do you think is going to be in 5 years?
In 5 years, I do believe that Google will make a comeback with a Google Glass because this was just a minor setback for them. They went back to the labs and will truly get some form of Google Glass that will work. Under the skin, I'm not sure will go mainstream. The technology exists, but it's still it's seen as I don't know, the devil.
It is quite a barrier there.
It raises many
granted.
concerns.
I was kind of push it there, but yeah.
It raises many concerns regarding privacy, regarding tracking. So I don't know. Socially, it will be a no-no for some time. But actually, we have to go there, mainly for medical reasons, because medicine. Technology in medicine evolves very fast, so it's naturally to go there. I don't know. Smartwatches, I do believe they will evolve, not as a replacement for smartphones, but as companions.
Right.
Because you can't talk on your watch like this.
It's magical. You feel like
maybe when we get implants in years, then maybe they will replace. But otherwise, no.
Okay.
And I do believe the market will slowly start to accept the wearables.
Okay, cool. We're going to start taking questions in a second. So if you have any questions, just raise your hand, and we'll get some microphones towards you.
I'll start with under the skin. If the social problem goes away, why not? Obviously. Why not? As he said, the technology is there. And okay, regarding the companionship of a smartwatch, yeah, it already is a smartphone's sidekick. Like you can unlock your Samsung phone with the proximity detector on a Samsung watch. Regarding what I said in the beginning, using a proximity detector for connecting up to the smart environment, yeah, sure. I think as I said in the beginning, I'd love to see that. If I go into my smart home, connect up to my thermostat, use the lighting system, use it like that for your everyday life, because for your daily routine, because that's a wearable. You're wearing it all the time, and you need to use it for common tasks.
Yeah, we have a joke in the industry. When Google bought Nest, we were joking that when you go home, you're going to get a message on your Nest saying your heating will resume after this ad. So, okay, any questions? Anything you?
It does differ augmented reality from motion tracking when making films. How differ? The motion tracking in film. Bine. Cum diferă realitatea augmentată de cea care e folosită în filme să capteze mișcarea?
To To capture what?
I think he's talking about. I might not get it right, but I think he's talking about how augmented reality, as in adding additional things, differs from tracking the movement from somewhere. So I'm not sure I understand actually.
The difference is that augmented reality. You use the motion tracking in both. You can use them in both, real world or augmented reality. But in the second issue, you have a game in front of you, a movie in front of you, something that's not real. Does that answer your question?
I think, I'm not sure if I'm mistaken, but a movie just about to come out where it's been filmed as a first person. So you literally go around shooting people and whatnot. It's actually filmed in Russia, so anything can happen. And you see the action from the perspective of a person, and you can pan around and everything. So, any other question? Shall I let you answer the question as well? Sorry. No? Okay. So, so we decided what we're going to do in 5 years. We're not happy with smartwatches now, and we think that we're gonna see some fashion stuff. How will people make money from selling things? Well, from manufacturing things that are taste-based, like jewelry, for example. Not everyone will like everything. So how would you make money from there?
The financial aspect, it's mainly hardware sell, so it's the hardware sellings. But also from the companion apps, because for a smart ring, you can't have motion control on it, you can't have input, you can only have at most one vibration or some light. So you must have some companion app on your phone or on your Google Glass, I don't know, that talks to the smart device. So the apps, the companion apps, though that's their main source of revenue. I know, selling extra features for the device or in-app ads or that. I don't know. We don't like ads, but they are a reality.
I mean, they're trade-offs, and my main issue with ads is for privacy, because Google doesn't mind.
The problem with
steal data.
Is especially in augmented reality and critical augmented reality. So let's say in surgical apps or I don't know, in engineering apps, is that you are in operation and it starts popping up in front of you. I don't know, buy stuff online. So we have to be wary as a developer that the devices that we use may be used in critical areas, so we must develop our app accordingly.
So you don't use Android?
Yeah, I use Android, but...
no, well, I was joking, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem with apps.
Okay, cool. Any other questions before we go off? So, final words. Actually, tell us about your business and how people can reach you. And you work for a magazine, right? So.
My business, as I said, it's a mobile marketing agency. We do campaigns and mobile apps as part of campaigns or standalone. I can be easily reached. I'm public on internet. I have a blog. I have a public Gmail address.
And you're always looking for people to join the business. You're always looking for developers, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So there you go. Accenture is also looking for people as well, I guess.
Yeah, we are looking for people. For those of you who don't know who Accenture is a multinational company with offices in more than 50 countries, with more than 300,000 employees, with main activities include software development, outsourcing, consulting. And here in Romania, we have almost 2,000 people working in 4 cities: Bucharest, Târgu Mureș, Cluj, and Timișoara. So if you like to join us, please do.
Please sign up here. Okay. So you work for Deutsche Bank.
Regarding Deutsche Bank, you should speak to more qualified people. example, in the corner right there, I can tell you it's a great development center.
Well, obviously his colleagues are around, so he needs to say good things. Okay, thank you very much for joining this session. We're going to be back in a second with some augmented reality in Android.